paychecks, check. Your QuickBooks, check. Your checks, yes, you got me. Cause we the best, Sykes and Company. We the best, Sykes and Company. Your accounting is a mess, there's no need for you to stress. Go online and request from the best. We the best, Sykes and Company. We the best, Sykes and Company, yes.
Hey, y'all see there's carbs? There's rolls.
Yeah, I can't even.
Oh, we're live.
We're live. We made it. First live podcast together.
We
Is
promised.
This the first one together?
We're at
Yes,
the NCPA.
we're together and we're alive. So,
Lounge
yeah.
here. Hanging out. We're
Last day.
we're recapping the show so far. Bonnie, you started off with the NCPA workshop.
We
which
did. We had the ownership workshop. Came in Wednesday night. We did it all day Thursday and Friday.
Nice.
Great group of attendees.
For anybody thinking about buying a pharmacy and does not know what it is,
We're selling.
what is
Or a
it?
startup.
Selling or startup. Don't know what the
Pharmacy,
workshop is. What is
pharmacy
it?
aren't
Why?
ownership. If you've not owned a pharmacy, unfortunately, pharmacy schools do not usually teach business classes and that sort of thing. So, the NCPA has every trimester they have a ownership workshop. It's a 2-day crash course on everything you need to know about owning your own pharmacy. So if you're looking to do that, that's the first place to go. We've got lots of clients that have come to us we met them there 10 years ago when we were doing it. And they'll tell you it's the best thing they ever did. So,
It's a good one.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
So we had lots of fun, lots of good information.
What's the ratio? Startups compared to buying?
Man, it was 50-50 day one. And then after Alan was done with them, his motto is go and find, he's talking to you, some 25-year-olds in there, go and find the most expensive store, the biggest, most expensive store you can find and buy that one.
Yeah.
Don't do a startup. He's not against startups, but that's what he would do. An established store that already has patients coming in. So I don't know. By the end of it, everybody was kind of like, there wasn't hands.
I can see where he's coming from because with margins, they're not like they used to be. You probably want that volume out the door. So that makes sense.
He wants volume.
He wants
Big
volume.
man wants volume. If you're buying a store, you want that volume coming in on day one. You don't want startup, and on day two, you've only got 3 prescriptions. So that's what he's after, and he wants that money coming in the door right away.
Yeah, but we're not against startups. We've had some of our most successful clients were startups.
They have-
Bold.
they
They're
have-
bold.
But you've got to have the eye of the tiger.
The eye type bold. They're out there
And you've got-
it, knocking on people's doors,
That's right.
handing out brochures, making relationships.
Relationships are huge with providers, with, that community.
It's not because they count pills the fastest once they're
No.
a startup. That's not.
And you get all kinds of people at the workshop. You got people who already own pharmacies, but they go there because the value that you're getting is just something you can't get anywhere else in the industry. So it's an extremely valuable and
Oh, yeah. You have your pharmacy niche. Lenders are there.
Yeah.
We're there talking about accounting and corporate structure, how to get going. You've got regulatory.
Yep.
Gabe Trahan.
Yes.
We've got Jeff Baird speaking.
Yes.
Scott Weaver. It's.
Was Marquise or what's his name?
We had Hashim,
Hashim. Oh, yeah.
who was great, and then Jonathan.
Jonathan. Yeah.
So also successful
Multi-store owners.
multi-store owners
Multi-store.
that have done startups and also purchases, talking about their experiences.
Yep.
And so it's just a full day from 8 to 6, both days of everything you can learn about it. So it's the place to be for sure.
And Scotty, just 5 minutes ago, you ran to the booth, fired up. LTC. What you learned?
Yeah, I think being here at the conference. Well, first of all, we did the RX Safe panel with compliance packaging and the tax impacts with that. Most notably, you can pretty much write off the full piece of equipment. You're talking about $180,000 compliance packaging system, 30-40% tax rate. You're looking at $60,000 to $70,000 of tax savings. If you have to put that product into use this year, you can finance it and make those monthly payments, but still get that write-off. So you're talking, good chunk of change of tax savings going into the end of the year, in addition to all the other tax planning opportunities that are out there. And of course, I mentioned fundamental accounting as being a key component of all this, because you have to have those
For sure.
fundamental numbers. You got to know where you stand. You got to be able to proactively tax plan with those numbers, and it allows you to know your cash flow. Every pharmacy is a little different with cash flow. Got to understand your cash flow. Where does it go? How does it move? You got debt. You got your expenses. You got your revenue. You got distributions. You got taxes. So,
Did they mention timing? Are they still? I know, as we tape this, it's October. Did they think that they'd be able to get them out?
I spoke to
Shot
Darren,
over.
and he said,
Darren at Script Pro said no issue.
no issue.
No problem.
With
Okay.
Script Pro.
No, with Script Pro.
Yeah.
And one thing that was interesting is that tax savings that you get. Obviously, you're financing it, so you just signed a piece of paper. You get the tax savings. The DIR fee hangover obviously is coming, and that's a little bit of extra cash there. And with a lot of people are speaking about how heavy or how much it's going to cost to get techs and pharmacists to stay. People are walking out of the big boxes. I don't know if you guys saw this, but I was like 1 a.m. Don't tell anybody. I was up reading. Rite Aid just filed for bankruptcy.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, so
I read about the walkouts that
the
are.
walkout. So they, pharmacy wages, tech wages might increase.
Well, let me get into that. That opens the next thing that I've been noticing here at this trade show. When you read the Rite Aid issue, it talks about the CVS and Walgreens of the world and how they're branching into more medical services, clinics in the pharmacies. Some of them are buying primary care practice groups. So that's definitely a trend you're seeing here. You're seeing medical billing at the trade show. You got Big Tree Medical that's out there with that nurse practitioner kind of primary clinic in your pharmacy. So, but in addition to that, you're seeing every program they have here at NCPA is on other revenue sources for your pharmacy.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Every one of them. And one most notably is long-term care. That is not going to go away. Every pharmacy is going to have that long-term care component in their pharmacy. They're working hard. I know NCPA is to get reimbursements for that in a long-term care at home setting. So, but long-term care is definitely something that's going to be expanding in the future in pharmacy, I believe, for all pharmacies.
Yeah.
Well, sorry that
You gotta get that.
that guy.
Yeah, you gotta record.
The guy. The chef on the scooter kind of took my. I'm sorry.
They got a little, what do they call them, Vespa type thing.
Boy,
She was gone,
You gotta
man.
go check that oven. Make sure he ain't burning that quiche.
Oh yeah, look what we got.
Oh yes,
That
it
always
represented
comes
the
out,
digest.
yes.
This comes out. We're looking. I don't know. Were you done with that thought on the LTC?
I'm done with the thoughts. So let's switch gears to that.
Let's
jump
look.
in. So there's
We
one
always
page.
look forward to this coming out.
Yeah, there's one page. I can't wait to get back to the office and really look at it. But they have a little chart, page 7 of the digest, and this one is something we keep track of all our clients. We have their data and look at what's going on. Now we can see some trends. 2022 from 2021, gross revenue or annual sales went up from 4 million basically to 4.8 million. For
We know
each
that.
pharmacy.
Expected that.
I mean, what is that? Like almost 25%?
Mhm.
Close. It's got to be over 20% increase right there. And we expected that. Why?
We've seen those with our clients.
Yeah,
The brands
the
that
brand
everyone's
names.
doing right now. Sales are up.
Sales are up, so with
Gross
brands,
profits down.
that's
Yep.
the issue. Gross profit goes down. So gross profit percentage from 2021, 23.3 on average. 2022, 21%.
That's right.
So that's down, and you're thinking, I mean, that's a big hit. 2% is a big hit because that goes straight down to the bottom
margins
line.
took a hit. You got those brands out there, especially in 2023. If you weren't careful,
I don't even want to imagine what 2023's, because if it's dropped that much without the Ozempics and things, what's 2023 going to look like?
Well, I mean, we have our own data in house, and we see margins, still in that 23 to 25% range.
Right.
I guess 22 to 24% on average for a pharmacy. So we're still seeing that out there. But also you'll notice on there is the wages drop. So you are seeing wages drop, which is kind of surprising to me because wage pressure has increased.
I feel like it might be It's a brand name drug, so the gross number goes up. So then, even if your wages stayed steady,
You're
the
right.
percentage
It's
of
gonna go
revenue
down.
is gonna, because
Well, that's true,
gross went up 2%, and
If
then
our math's
wages, payroll
correct.
expenses go down too. But yeah,
Is our math correct on that, baby?
yeah,
Sounds right.
It's reasonable. It's a reasonable
It
assumption.
is a reasonable assumption.
Reasonable assumption. But yeah, you got to get a copy of this. I
Yeah,
mean,
you gotta get the digest. Speaking of the digest, we have our own data in house, and we might be doing our own digest in the future. So we'll have to see that.
yes, we just hired somebody. Austin, he's
behind the camera.
He's working the camera. Usually,
Austin.
it's funny. Every time, I'm so used to being behind the camera with at least the good shots. So it feels really good to have Austin on board. Thank you, Austin, for doing the camera work. This might be our first live one because we have someone.
That's right.
Can we tell the story though? We hire Austin? It doesn't matter when this comes out. Let's just talk. We hired him.
I think we hired him
Thursday?
on Wednesday or Thursday.
Was it Tyler?
Interviewed
Thursday?
him on like a Wednesday.
Thursday.
No, shout out to Tyler over there.
Yes.
HR
finding us a great
Yeah.
person. Thursday, and I was already here. I mean, we did the interview. I was already here.
You did the interview from the workshop
Yes.
Yeah.
And then
in a break.
we hired him, and then we're like, "Do you want to come to the show? I mean, why not?"
What
Yeah.
better place to
And
learn
so he's
than
here.
from
So when
NCPA.
it's a quick turnaround time. We did do a background check. I mean, no
Yes.
offense, but we just wanted to make sure.
Yeah. Everybody looks good on LinkedIn, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Nah, he's just as good looking in person, so it's all good.
So funny.
My one thing.
Oh, wait.
Go ahead.
Went to the general session,
Yes.
and the lawsuit that has out there. It's very interesting, I thought.
Yes.
Mission Wellness, and there was another group, but what came to light out of those arbitration and then CVS not paying, which brought it into the court system, which allowed others to see what actually happened in the arbitration, kicked off what we're seeing now, which is a class action with 3 law firms behind it.
Yes.
And I would say I was impressed with the firms I saw on stage at the NCPA general session there.
Yes.
So, we'll see what happens, but maybe they'll claw back the clawbacks.
Yeah, that was
I don't
the
know.
theme. So this all related to the DIR fees, clawback and the clawback, and saying basically the contracts that are being written are unconscionable, meaning
Right.
they can't be enforceable contracts. You're pinning people to do something that they don't want to do, and some pharmacies have already.
Well, there's contingencies in those contracts.
Oh, my
To do
goodness.
this, you have to do that and that. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're saying it could be several years for this to be a win, but if it is a win,
So
the
there's
goal
hope.
is to claw back the DIR fees that have been clawed back. And this is my feeling. 5 years ago, DIR fees were a concern.
Mhm.
I'd say 3 years ago, DIR fees, when talking to pharmacists, was on notice, a little bit of confusion. What's going on? What are you seeing?
Yeah.
Now, people are fire hot.
Yeah.
They are fire hot mad. I mean, it's unbelievable what's going on. And honestly, the lawyers, it seems like they were just as fired up also as the pharmacists.
That's great. So there's hope.
There's hope. Definitely.
Looks like this show is starting up.
Yes. So
Looks like lunch is being served.
You and your
I'm
food.
hungry.
yeah. So
I don't want to get hungry.
Yeah. So let's wrap it up with the bottom line. Let's wrap it up with the bottom line before we get. I don't want to get hit by Bonnie. I'm gonna throw the microphone.
I think
in.
bottom
okay right
line,
now.
my bottom line is diversified revenues is key. I mean, it's here, it's now. You have to be finding something. You got to get into it. We saw a big crowd at 340B, for example. A big crowd of people who have never done it, never looked into it maybe, but they were interested in it. So it's time. The time is now to get into some diversified revenue, and I think the NCPA has done a great job presenting multiple options from what I've seen just looking at the
Absolutely.
agenda on doing just that.
You stole mine, but I'll just add to it. We spoke to a lady at the ownership workshop. We normally tell people if you're a startup, don't start up until you get all your contracts in place because you don't want to turn, revenue sources away. They may not come back. But she kind of stopped us. We were kind of telling her that, and she was like, no. She's like, and she brought out a piece of paper. She had like 10 different other revenue sources that she had gotten qualifications for to be able to do. And she's like, I'm doing all these things because this is what I want the majority of my business to be.
Oh, wow.
And so filling scripts is just, yeah, I'll do that when I get my, all my stuff, all my approvals in. But for now, I'm going to do all these things. And it was impressive. I didn't even understand. We had to ask her what some of those things were because they were so new, but they were amazing. So that was an awesome approach. Like, I was like, okay, well, that makes complete sense. So she said, so by the time I can fill scripts, I'm going to already have this other business model in place with all these other revenue streams, and that's going to be like secondary.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting approach to it.
My bottom line is, I think pharmacists have always, in my view, been the smartest people.
Mm-hmm.
Now I feel like they're the smartest and the most motivated people that I know, because they're motivated to do different things, different revenue streams, and they're motivated to keep what's theirs with the DIR fee issue. So you got to be motivated. Can't just fill scripts. Can't just be smart. And as an industry, these people are doing it. So that's the bottom line. Be motivated and just be smart, intelligent. They're accomplishing it. It's amazing.
The pharmacy is clearly shifting to being the healthcare center of the community with a variety of services to meet the needs of the community and your patients. So it's going that way. The days of just filling scripts are gone.
For sure.
That's the bottom line. Zoom in on the NCPA sign to finish this thing off. And I'm the first.
Yes.